As much as I love Dynamite Headdy, Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe 2, and Streets of Rage 2, The Adventures of Batman and Robin is by far my favorite personal Sega Genesis game. Why, you ask? Well, first I have to admit something about myself. I like rooting for the underdogs, and this is a criminally underrated game. You check the top Sega Genesis list of any publication, and they will rarely have this game in their list, if ever. But simply because it's a good, underrated game can't make it the best game on the Sega Genesis. Of course not. All of this is backed up by spectacular gameplay. Not just the conception of the gameplay, but the actual execution of the gameplay is flawless. In essence, this is a run-and-gun game, which is strange because Batman doesn't really have any automatic weapons. What you do is hold down the A button, and you continually throw various Batman boomerangs of different colors and styles. You have three basic weapon lines. You have the green weapons, the orange weapons, and the blue weapons. All the weapons are pretty modest at first, but as you continue to pick up weapon power-ups, the weapons get stronger and stronger. The green weapon, for example, has the best strength, but it doesn't have a big area of effect. It basically just shoots at a straight line. But this is where the versatility of the game comes in, as in this game you can shoot your projectiles in any direction. The blue weapon is the worst. It has a good area of effect, but it hits the weakest. Pound for pound, I would say the orange weapon is the best. Not only does it hit pretty damn hard, but also it has a great area of effect where it shoots 3 projectiles at once, just like the inferior blue weapon. So just to recap, the green and orange weapons are both really good, whereas the blue weapon is a bit lacking. But you don't just shoot. You see, when enemies are in melee range, you actually start fisticuffing and kicking them. I've gotten so good at this game, I like to go as much as possible without actually shooting, so I always wait for enemies to come close to me so I can beat them up. You can also do a jumping leg kick, which takes out enemies that are flying or enemies that are at a higher level than you. The Adventures of Batman and Robin lets you play as Batman or Robin. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. I always play as Batman. If you're playing this as a 2-player game, Batman will not be stronger than Robin or vice versa. The bosses are really fun in this game. They're just the right amount of strategy and difficulty. For the most part, I have the timing and the moveset of most of the bosses down. But once in a while, the bosses do throw you for a loop, and you do get hit. You have to be constantly on your feet. There's enemies coming at you from all directions and from the sky. And that's not to say this game is hard, because your character is so versatile, as Batman should be. You can jump out of the way and move out of the way, or shoot the enemies before they even touch you. If you have any amount of skill and timing in this game, very few enemies will actually get to hit you. On top of the standard running and gunning levels, there's also a scrolling shooter level. This type of gameplay uses the same 3 basic archetypes of weapons, but it's from a top-down perspective, so they look a little different. Batman and Robin is probably the most fun I ever had with a game. I mean, the game is so good, I got my dad to play it when I was a kid, and he does not like video games. The graphics are also absolutely phenomenal, and the techno-y action music just accompanies the gameplay flawlessly. It is classic Sega Genesis music. The Adventures of Batman and Robin, the criminally underrated Sega Genesis game, gets an official stanburdman rating of a 9.7 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.